breakfast video where we're making a nice dish for you. Maureen, what are we making?
Hello everybody, welcome back. We're very excited about this. Our recipe for this round is going to be the ultimate Winterfest scallop and ham potatoes au gratin. So we're layering a multitude of different veggies in between sweet potatoes, red potatoes, ham, cheese, garlic. We're going to make a roux out of evaporated milk. And we're actually going to do with meat and without meat. You'll be sending home in your package these containers. They are, in all honesty, a little narrow for a scalloped potato, but the way we can get product nowadays, this is all we could get. This is reality. So we really would advise to use a thicker pan at home if you have it. If not, it's really okay to do it this way. Just layer them a little bit thinner. And when you're making a scalloped potato, whether it's au gratin with cheese or not, you want to put potatoes on the bottom. Start with potatoes on the bottom and end with potatoes on top, and you're filling in the middle. So this might only be a 2-layer, and this might have 4 layers. But it's very simple, and again, we're going to load it with lots of veggies, and away we go.
Away we go.
In our recipe, we say, this is a medallion onion, this is what's going to be in your box. You could use scallions, you could do a shallot, you could do red onion, you just a plain old yellow onion, whatever. And if you don't like onion, don't add it. It's what you like. That's kind of the cool thing about this recipe. So when you're cutting your onion, this is your root end. This is where it grows from. This is the one you want to always keep attached, your root end. I'm going to take off my top. I'm going to cut down, and then I'm going to peel it. Guys. And then you want your onion sliced thin. I like my onion sliced thin anyway. I mean, you may be a real onion connoisseur and love your onion and you want it nice and thick, so you bite into it. We're going to slice it thin, and so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to slice it so we have thin pieces. And again, my fingers are back when I use my knife, so I don't get my fingers. And it's all staying together because my root end, when you get to the root, you're going to go like this, cut it down, and there you go. And you'll be able to sprinkle this.
Do you want to demo
Sure.
the flat surface cut thing?
Yeah. And when you're cutting anything, you don't want it to be round. You don't want it to roll like this on you. So I'm going to just cut a little end off my sweet potato so it lays flat. I'm going to cut off that tip end. And yes, I make tools, mandolins, and other pieces of equipment to slice these thin. But a lot of us don't own them, me included in my own home. So we're just going to slice these very as thin as you can get them, with them still holding together.
All right, if you're like me and you can't cut quite as thin as Maureen, it will be okay. So I'm going to try my hand. I have a small red potato here, so I'm leaving the skin on because it's a really thin potato skin. Just make sure you wash it, and if you can't cut them as thin as Maureen, that is okay.
Yep. And what we did tell you at the beginning of this video, but we always reiterate, wash your hands before you start any project with food. We're cutting just veggies on this cutting board, so we're sharing it, but if we did our meat, that would be on another cutting board. I actually diced the ham earlier, and I flipped over my cutting board and did it on the other side. So again, wash your hands in between projects. After I did my ham, I washed my hands. Before we started this, both Liz and I were over at our hand sink and washed our hands there. And you can't, very important.
8 million times a day.
Yeah. So we're gonna make a roux, and a roux is thickened milk, and we're gonna add cheese to it. And here's a little trick. We want our butter to get browned a little bit to add more flavor. It becomes a little nuttier. So instead of, I let my pan get warm, it's on like medium-high heat. We're gonna let the pan get warm. So my pan is warmed up. I'm gonna drop my 2 tablespoons of butter. So making the roux, it's 2 tablespoons of butter to 1 tablespoon of flour. Or if you're making a double batch, it's 2 to 1 on whatever you do. 2 of the butter to 1 of the flour. Half cup of flour, a half cup of butter, a quarter cup of flour. But see in here, see how nice and brown your butter's getting? So that's just gonna give it a little bit more flavor. If you don't have a whisk, you can use a wooden spoon. And now, actually, we're gonna add a tablespoon of gluten-free flour, because we're gluten sensitive here in this home where they're gonna be eating this tonight. So now, see how nice and brown and bubbly that's getting here?
I'm working on the garlic.
Smooth. And I'm gonna take my evaporated milk, wherever it is. And the evaporated milk, you gotta shake well before you open it up, just so you know that. I'm gonna add a little, mix it in, add a little bit more, stir it in. And with the roux, you don't wanna stop stirring. You wanna just keep turning the milk around in there on the flour.
All right, so we are gonna put minced garlic, and I'm gonna crush it, and then take off the skin from the 1 clove of garlic. We're using 2 of them in this recipe. Then I'm gonna cut off the root ends, get rid of that. I'm gonna cut it really small in one direction, and then turn it and cut it in the opposite direction. Push it off the knife. Just get it as small as you can by sort of rocking the knife, cutting it into small pieces.
We're gonna come over here and put some right in our roux.
Not ready yet.
Lots of garlic.
Well, I had to
Some of the rest in here.
Takes a little bit. Not enough.
That's all right. A little bit more. We like garlic. Garlic's good for you.
It's all good.
Yeah. And then we're gonna add a little bit of pepper to this. We're not gonna add any salt because our cheese is salty. And remember, we're adding cheese to this, so this is gonna make it thicker too than just the roux on its own. In your kit, you're gonna be getting some ham from Henry's Market and some wonderful sharp cheddar cheese from them as well. So our roux is starting to simmer. You can see it bubbling along the sides here. Getting a little thicker. You can see that nice thickness to it. And now I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more. I'm gonna add, I think the recipe calls for 2 cups of cheese. I'm gonna add 1 at a time here. Actually, I'm now gonna remove it from the heat so it doesn't get too thick. See how nice that is? And then I'm gonna add that other, and you save a little bit of your cheese for the top of your au gratin potato dish. There, yummy, that's beautiful. See how nice and thick, velvety. There we go. Oh, it smells good too. Okay, so we're gonna layer our veggies right now. We're starting with the sweet potatoes because they are the firmest and they make a nice bottom to hold your whole delicious meal together. And I'm gonna layer the red potatoes.
And Maureen, you sprayed this with a little ham.
Yeah, but what else could we do?
The other thing you could do is put, let's say, half a teaspoon of vegetable oil or just a little bit of butter, and use a paper towel or the butter wrapper to like rub the oil or butter around so there's a really thin greased surface on your pan. Okay, so Maureen has moved on to a little bit of spinach over those potatoes and a little bit of onion. Now she's moving on to the zucchini over the spinach, and that's 1 layer. So in these small pans, remember, we're gonna do 2 layers total. That has the potatoes on the bottom, followed by the spinach and onion, followed by a little zucchini, and then you'll do that on top and finish it with cheese. And Maureen is putting some of the cheese sauce on the top of 1 layer. Okay, so if you don't have an oven, you could definitely assemble these layers in a crock pot. Again, same way. Put the potatoes on the bottom, So do a layer of potatoes, and then do a layer of the spinach and a little onion, and then do a layer of zucchini. Add in some of the cheese sauce, but you might not be able to make the cheese sauce. If you can't do that, just sprinkle a little flour, sprinkle half or 1/3 of the cheese, and pour a little milk over each layer as you finish it, and that over the course of 4 hours should meld together to become a cheese sauce in your crock pot.
And you probably need more than a tablespoon
Flour.
of flour for the crock pot. Not a whole lot more, maybe double that. So I want to end in sweet potatoes, and I had more white potatoes, so I'm doing a layer. I'm just kind of, you know, like again, this is fun. You can go out of sequence. You can do whatever veggies you have. So I've gone out of sequence a little because I want to end up with my sweet potatoes on top. And I added some more of the red potatoes. And there's a couple pieces of zucchini. We don't want them to get lost, so we'll share them up. A little bit more spinach here, so we're going to put that in. This one's the ham. A little more ham in. Oh, this looks delicious. And then some onion. Forgot about the onion. Let's put more onion in there. Should have a little scraper to help pick this up. We have a great little pastry scraper. All right. That's the cheese sauce on. And it is going to work its way down in there, but I sometimes help it by just taking my knife and picking it up a little bit or poking a couple holes in. I'll show you. Oh, this cheese sauce. Wow. I would take a spatula at home if you had it to really scrape this out. You don't want to waste an ounce of this goodness. So yummy. Sometimes I take my little paring knife or whatever, and I might go like this a little bit just to
Move it around.
Just to move it around a little.
Put a couple sinkholes.
A paring knife is probably safer for most people besides this giant knife, but this is what we have right here. And that just helped it go down. It's going to go down anyways. It just gives it another vessel to get down there. And then we're going to take some cheese. Sprinkle it on top. I make sure you put a pan underneath this because it could boil over and you don't want to end up cleaning up your oven. There we go. You have for you.
Yay! How long in the oven, Maureen?
I would check it in this small pan and this 2-layer. I would check it in half an hour. If you do the big thick 4-inch pan and like 4 layers, I would check it in about 50 minutes. Make sure it's tender. Take your knife or a fork so that it goes through down into the casserole. And if you really want it brown and bubbly and have the time, you can put it under your broiler to finish off the top. And there's one little trick we want to talk to you about. A lot of things you make that have veggies in it, that have moisture in it, the ham, the potatoes have moisture in it. So sometimes you're going to let it rest 10 minutes before you cut it. And when you take out your first slice, you're going to see, oh, there's a lot of water in there, which is good. But if you take a paper towel, scrunch it up in that hole where your first one took out your first slice, it's going to absorb all the moisture and the rest of the pieces will be dry. Not that the water's bad, but sometimes it's a little harder to deal with. Yeah, and you can do that on quiche, you know, anything that you bake like that that has a little moisture. I don't know, what do you think?
I think these are going to be delicious.
Yeah.
We really hope you enjoy making them, have some fun, and please remember to answer the questions so you can get credit for possibly winning a prize in our raffle.
And also, if you have any ideas for what you'd like us to do for our Spring
Ooh,
Fest,
that'd be cool.
we'd love some feedback. Yeah, we'd love some new ideas.
Yeah.
Your ideas.